Hi, guys. Hope everybody is doing okay. As okay as they can be. With everything that's going on. Stop it. Hello. Good to see you guys. It's been a rough week, huh? I know the last time we were live, the hurricane hadn't hit yet, and I was a little concerned about it. I got a little emotional. I was very worried about it, so I ended up watching it. And I've never watched a storm before, so that was one I didn't feel good about at all. I was super emotional that day when I was posting something about it. I felt like I was going to cry. It's never happened to me before. Good evening. So that was quite a experience for me because that was something that, I got in the beginning of this year, but that it was actually stop it. That it was actually happening, and it was as big as I thought it was going to be. It was just prayers go out to those in Florida. It's been, I don't know. I can't explain how I felt, I guess, prior to it happening. It was kind of an indescribable feeling. Happy October 1st. Yep, I can't believe it's October already. Man, time does fly. I think that I've been here almost a year next month. And I know I'm trying to think of what I can do. I thought about, like, if people wanted to donate extra, I would send the extra to Florida. So right now I have a lot of bills. But I was considering that, or doing a different live for it. Stop. Yeah, unfortunately, if you guys haven't seen the recent prediction auto write that I did, I got more storms coming. I'm now, when it comes to my predictions, I don't really have a time frame because I never know when it's really going to happen, but stuff has already started to happen in it. And Spirit was very pushy with me doing that prediction video and that prediction information. It was like they were pushing, and I was like, all right. So I got it out as soon as I could, and then it was like once I put it on members, because I was trying to do something for you guys, I was like, well, I need to get this released because stuff is going to start happening that I saw. Unfortunately, there was more storms that came up in that auto rape. So I don't know if it's going to be these storms or something in the future. But so far, stuff is already happening, like the stomach flu. Well, like it's like a part of, I guess, the coronavirus. I don't know. But I kept thinking it was going to be something with the stomach, and they just released that today. The waves, I'm not sure if the waves were part of it. What just happened at, over by Georgetown and all of that. So I don't know. The only person I know in Florida, besides, I'm sure I have friends and whatnot over there from Facebook, but, personally, they're on the East Coast, which kind of worried me because I did get East Coast. So, I don't know. Hopefully it's not this year, but stuff is already starting to happen in that auto right. That's why Spirit was being a little bit pushy with it. Hey, Katie. Yeah, there's this. I was getting something with the stomach. It's going to be more of a stomach thing. And so they just released that about the stomach thing. So it's $25 minimum donation, because my readings are, especially if it's a mediumship reading, they go really long, because I try not to cut off spirit, so sometimes they're 30 minutes to 40 minutes. It's actually kind of cheap for channeling that long, but I try to get as much information as they'll give and try not to cut them off. So it's minimum 25 for reading. And thank you. I appreciate that, Melissa. I don't know. I actually typed up Dylan's today, and I think it's not that good of a reading. I don't know why. I felt like he was holding back for some reason. But I have a couple other ones I need to release as well. I've been trying to get them typed up. There's another case I worked on, Dimitri Perez, with his mom, and she gave me permission to release it because we're having issues trying to find the location I'm talking about. And I was hoping that maybe somebody, because the reason I like to put my videos on YouTube for missing people is not only does it bring awareness to the case, but it also sometimes will help with the location, because I see it like I'm there. So it helps to have eyes in the area. That's in Texas though, but I don't know if I have anybody on my channel in the area, but I have to get that one typed up, and then I was going to put my original Amaya one because it just validates the last one that I did. It's basically the same stuff. I do get things through dreams sometimes. So there's been I don't know, my dreams are kind of weird. So sometimes when I'm doing reading, or sometimes I'm doing readings in my dreams. Sometimes I'm actually sitting with sitters in my dreams and giving them a full reading, like I'm actually channeling. That's the weirdest dreams that I give. I'm actually giving a full out reading in my dreams to someone. So whether that's me working on a different plane or what, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Other times I'll just dream of locations. I've dreamed of like seeing a location up from a map, like I did with, I think it was Waverly. I'm pretty sure it was Waverly. And I will see like for instance, I heard that word and I was seeing it like I was seeing it on a map, and I believe that fits Felicia Johnson in Texas because of the timing of it and where the guy was Googling. So, and then there's been a time where I was talking about a case and I went to sleep. I had dreamed of the location and woke up. There's times where I get words in my dreams, names in my dreams. So I have a whole list of random words and names that I'm either drawn to or get randomly or get in my dreams. And then like, so that's kind of how my dreams work. And as far as prophetic stuff, I haven't really gotten any prophetic stuff in my dreams. That mostly just comes through random visions or if I sit down and auto write. Hi Terry, good to have you. I see some new people here tonight. That's awesome. I do try to get my lives on earlier, but sometimes I just don't get to it till late. So that's kind of how my dreams work. I don't know. It's weird. So last night, yeah, it can be crazy sometimes because when you actually, yeah, with Miss Anonymous with Stephanie, it was weird because I had the location on Stephanie. I went back through the reading because I was like, I watched something on her and where they found her and everything. It was the first time I really seen where they found her. So I went back and I watched, and I read my reading and I was like, holy crap. I had it in the very beginning off Route 9 and I described the area and everything. And then I had screenshotted that area multiple times and put it up. And I didn't even realize it was just like, I'm so drawn to this area, I can't let it go. So that's why whenever I like, I can't let something go, it's for a reason. And I won't be able to let it go till it like gets checked, which I can't really push anybody to check anything. It's like this. People are meant to be found when they're meant to be found. Things are meant to happen the way they're meant to happen. You know what I mean? So it's okay, Shazam. That's just the way it is. But last night I did, if you guys don't follow Patreon, I'm going to try to put some more Patreon stuff up, but we did do a live last night on the Texas killing fields. And man, that was a crazy, crazy, crazy reading. and you can do Pateron for $1 a month if you want to. You could set your own amount, but that's just something that those are videos that I don't have on my YouTube. So I did the Texas killing fields last night, and I have never had this happen to me before. Usually I'm very protected when I do readings and stuff like that. So I finished that. It was almost a 3-hour live because we were getting a lot of information. Then we were validating it, and Shazam was on live with me. It was I thought it was a really cool live. Anyways, last night I could not go to sleep, and I take medicine to make me sleep, help me sleep, because I have a hard time going to sleep. So my medication usually knocks me out, and I'm usually always really tired. So I usually don't have a problem sleeping, but last night I could not sleep. It was like there was a presence in my room keeping me awake, and I've never had that happen before, to where I felt the presence in my room and I couldn't sleep. So I don't know why. And my dog, my spirit seeing dog, I call her, because she's always like, she'll be just laying there and all of a sudden she'll wake up and start growling at nothing. She was very antsy last night. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if I still had leftovers from when I was channeling the Texas killing fields, because there's like 40 victims altogether, and we went through a bunch of them. And it's just one of those things where it freaked me out. It freaked me out last night. I don't have that problem. I usually, when I go to sleep, and I couldn't sleep. It was almost like I felt the presence, and that's why I couldn't sleep. It was the weirdest thing. Hey, Joanne. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. Sometimes I'm even amazed. Spirit amazes me, so that I try to always trust in what they tell me, because that's a big part of this, is trusting what you get. It's trusting what Spirit's giving you, although it might not make sense. And I even have a hard time doing that. I was going to, this is 10 years this month that I've been doing this work. And I feel like I am constantly growing and learning and coming up to different levels. So, and that's how this is. Like, we don't all get all gifted, like I feel, all at once. I feel like it comes as we're able to handle it. And as we continue doing it, we kind of learn more. So I did this morning. I got up and took more medicine. So I was able to get some sleep. But yeah, it's my 10-year anniversary of basically being a medium this month. So that's pretty cool. I can actually say 10 years now instead of almost 10 years. Quit it. Hey, Zook, what are you doing? Now, I let you guys out to be good, to behave yourself. Don't start acting like weirdos all of a sudden. So, yep, 10 years. It's hard to believe. I think back to when I started this, and I can't believe it's been 10 years, but it's been 10 years since my husband passed away in May. So, I mean, it makes sense. Hold on one second. What are you guys doing? Oops. So, oh, thank you, Faye. I appreciate that. If you guys missed the last live, that was really interesting. Actually channeling someone that's still basically in their body, but not in their body. That was a first for me. So yeah, things are evolving and changing and growing, definitely. That's for sure. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Terry. Yeah, that's, sometimes it's weird. I know I hate to say it, but sometimes it happens like that when you have a huge passing in your life, and then you kind of open up to wanting to communicate and learn more about where they're at. That's kind of where it starts for a lot of people. I've noticed that many people that become mediums or tap into their gifts or whatever, open back up, they it's all because of something that happened to them, usually a specific passing or something like that. Oh, thank you, Faye. That means a lot to me. I appreciate the super sticker. Yeah, it was the last live that I did. So there was you guys, they were all mellowed out, and I told them no playing because Mama's got to work. And what is happening now? 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. They're worse than children sometimes. Yeah, they're being rowdy all of a sudden, and they were like all laying down until I got live, you know. And I only let them out because I felt bad that they were in the crate last night. Well, I did that 3-hour live, so I thought, oh well, they might be good. No, not really. Oh well, if you watch that video, I think there's still more bodies out there, and I actually explained where I felt they were. It was a really interesting live, really interesting. Oh, thank you, Terry. You know what? It is. I understand why it happened. Without my husband passing away, and he had a very I have a book out, and it's actually on the bottom. It's on Amazon. It explains kind of everything. So it explains how, he was a very tortured soul, and he basically, left to save me in a way. And and so it explains that. And stop it, Zook. Because of that, I got my gifts, because of that, I was able to help more people. So that's kind of how it happened. It was, it's a long story. It's a long story. That's why I wrote it in a book, because it'd be way too much for me to go into here. But hi Kelly, good to have you here too. Sometimes so everything happens for a reason. Okay, so it was just his time to go. Cheyenne, hang on 1 second. Jesus, man. Cheyenne plays a little too rough. It's rolling across the bottom. It's R&R Love, a twin flame story. It's like $11 on Amazon. I'm glad you found me too, Terry, and it's good to see you, Kelly. Yep, it's in the description, and also it's rolling across the bottom of this live right now. Thank you, Faye. You're welcome. I mean, it's a twin flame story, but I believe that it touches on all those kind of relationships. It kind of explains addiction and those kind of things from a spiritual perspective that a lot of people don't look at. So it kind of helps people understand from a better perspective and a different perspective, a spiritual perspective of why people go through the things that they go through. So we get on that path when we're meant to get on that path. It's definitely, it's not for everybody. And the reason why I say that is, like especially crime, you have to be able to handle the emotional stuff that comes with it. You have to be able to handle what you're seeing with it, because a lot of times we see things that maybe some people can't handle, and we deal with emotions that maybe some people can't handle. So, hey. Did you hear him talk back at me? Wasn't that rude? That's the white dog that you guys used to see in the background. But so that's why some people work crime and some people don't. Some people can work with, with kids. Some people can't. I don't have a problem working with kids. I understand their soul contracts. Okay. I understand that we come here for reasons, and we pass for reasons, and it's all divine timing. It's all chosen before we come to earth. We choose everything. So the fact that I'm here and I do this, it was chosen for me. I chose it. It's just I didn't open up until the time I was supposed to open up. So, everything happens for a reason. I know it's hard to understand when it comes to tragedies and things like that. I have a really good video on soul contracts that I posted a while ago. So for new subscribers, that would be something to watch if you wanted to know more about soul contracts. So you have to, you kind of have to understand how this works. You have to understand that we have soul contracts, that we come here. Everybody has soul contracts. That includes the murderer and the victim. That includes, basically everybody, which it's hard to understand, right, when there's tragedy. So also, when you're giving readings, it's worth it to me because I'm able to help somebody. The fact that they hear from their loved one, sometimes it really gives them to a different part of their healing process. I always say that everybody should experience a good medium reading, because I feel like it shifts you in your healing process into, you start to understand things more, and you start to be okay with it, and that they're okay. So you're on a better path. So it's a good start to healing process, a mediumship reading. I know that that's what started me on my healing process. Was I had my own mediumship readings, and I feel it's almost like something shifts when you have one. And I don't know if that's because we're considered healers, and so we kind of help heal at the same time. So it's good because it's a way of, them letting you guys know that they're okay. And that's why I feel like they're important. Like, being a medium myself, I don't connect the same way to my own loved ones that another medium would, because I know too much about my own loved ones. Just the way that I work. All mediums are different. We all work differently. No two mediums are the same. Like, I don't just see spirit with my eyes. Some people do. I more see them in my head, and it's not all the time. So we all communicate kind of differently. And so that's what you have to remember too. If, you are speaking to a medium, like not, or if you're trying to also open your own gifts, we're not all gifted the same way. So like, if you watch a medium, you want to be, I want to be like that, you're going to be gifted in your own way. So I don't offer soul contract readings. What I offer is intuitive guidance, which is basically, it runs off of questions, and I channel your guides. So sometimes things, I don't know anybody that really offers soul contract readings. They would have to, soul contract is kind of, it's intricate. So I don't know that anybody would offer that. Honestly, I haven't heard about it. They might, I don't know. And then I do mediumship readings. So I've done past life readings before, and I've done animal guide readings, but it's mostly intuitive guidance, because you can ask about your animal guides and your intuitive guidance, or mediumship. And I do pet. I do communicate to pets on the other side as well. So pets also have a soul, and they communicate the same way that humans do. So usually most mediums can connect to pets as well. Should be able to. So I've connected to a lot of people's pets, and those readings are some of my favorite. They're really cool readings because there's stuff that, you know, there's no way I could know. And I enjoy communicating with pets. It's fun. And also I know how that feels to need to hear, you know, from your pets. Hey. So they're starting to quiet down now, thank God. But so yeah, that's basically, I don't know, my jibber jabber. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a 16-and-a-half-year-old Chihuahua right now. She scared me a few times, but actually she's doing really all good all of a sudden. I don't, not really, no. No, I work by, I have to open myself up. I'm sure that I start feeling things, like I'm getting a headache right now. But I know I never know, like, kind of where it goes. And I mean, there's been times where I've been talking to someone that they've asked me and they've gotten a message, but you know, I've always been told that, you know, how Long Island Medium like goes up to people and just give them a reading, like you're not supposed to do that. But that's just, I just don't work that way. I have to actually sit down and try to connect with someone. And I prefer to do it through a picture or a name because I prefer to direct dial someone. I am learning more on how to bring, you know, whoever's around or wants to talk forward, but sometimes that can turn into kind of a mess and where I get multiple people and you don't really know who's talking. It's kind of hard to keep track of the energies when they do that. We did that on, my friend was just like, he came on here and he was like, just tell me whoever's there. And we got like 5 people and 3 of them were soldiers. And it was hard to tell, you know, which one was which, because they kind of all take turns when they talk. So I actually don't like, I don't like communicating that way because I feel like you get a little bit from each person instead of a great validation and good reading from one person if you direct dial. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to do it that way. And I mean, they don't have to talk to us, but I've only had one time where the reading wasn't like very strong. Maybe they just didn't know how to communicate or they didn't feel like talking. They still got information across, but it wasn't as strong as like most of my readings. And so you have to remember that every spirit kind of communicates differently as well, but they try to use our strengths for the most part. Yeah, Terry, you can. You can reach me by email, Facebook, or Instagram. So as far as like general readings, I don't really call them general readings. Like I say, I do intuitive guidance. Like I have to do a more focused thing, otherwise I go everywhere. You guys notice, like when I do sit down and write and do auto writing and stuff, like I go everywhere. I just pull in so much information. So I try to have it more focused than that. And so when it comes to like a general reading, I call it an intuitive guidance reading, which is about anything basically in your yard. So in your yard. I read StreamYard and said that, sorry. Basically, intuitive guidance, you know, you would ask questions and I would channel whatever guidance your guides want to give you. And you can ask really about anything usually. When it comes to mediumship, like I say, I try to do someone specific because I just feel like you get a better reading that way. Instead of trying to communicate with a bunch of different spirits, it makes it just confusing. I mean, I can do it, but I don't really like communicating that way because it doesn't. I'm very picky about the readings that I give. I like to give a lot of information. I like to give up validating information. Like the way that my readings work, if you've watched any of the private readings that I've done on my YouTube, I like to get the validation and then give a message. So I like to prove who I'm talking to by knowing things I couldn't possibly know. That's validation to know that it's your loved one. And so that's why I like to do it that way. And I feel like sometimes I have a hard time connecting if I don't have a picture or whatnot, but I can do it. I just feel like the reading's stronger. I don't know if I'm making sense. So whenever I say like a specific question, I mean like, okay, so if you want to know something about your life, like what does the next few months have in store for me? You just would put it in a question. You know what I mean? So anything that you kind of want to know about your life, where's my career going? Where's my relationship going? Where's this going? It's just kind of, it allows me to ask your guides that so I can get the guidance and answers for you. It's how I connect to spirit. Sometimes people say, well, why do you do that? It's because that's my energy source for connecting to spirit is the question. So you would just frame it into a question, anything that you want to know. It's a lot easier than, it sounds. So how we're going to do this, let me explain really quick how I work, because for people that don't know, so the donation is 25 and up. It's 25 minimum. You can donate more if you want to, but 25 minimum. You can pick the kind of reading that you want. So you would pick, intuitive guidance or mediumship. If you do a mediumship, like I said, I prefer you can email me a picture or shoot me a picture, and I'm going to put the link down for StreamYards. And so StreamYards, you would click that link and you would come on. You do not have to show your face. You can just do your voice, or you can show your face however you want to do it. And a lot of times we do cut the readings off and make their own videos. And so you can download it or whatever and keep it for later on off my channel. So that's how these ones work. If you would like to do it privately, you can email me, because some people like to do it privately. So that's usually through a messenger of some kind. And it's because I seem to get specific information as I'm channeling, when I'm typing to you, when it's just me in spirit, and you get to read it back and keep it. I don't really have any other way to record it. So that's just the way that I do 99% of my readings, and people can always keep it, and they look back and they're like, whoa, you said I was going to get pregnant here, and here it is. So they do that a lot. So they always keep their reading. So I'm just going to explain how I work here so that we don't have to re-go over that when you guys decide to come on. So information that I get, and this can go for intuitive guidance or mediumship, can be past, present, or future. It can be symbolic, or sometimes it will have multiple meanings. Spirit will sometimes reference what I experience, or my experiences, my references, or how I relate to something to try to explain what they're trying to say. So that sometimes they'll use like movies or my own experiences, life, or whatever, to try to explain that. When it comes to intuitive guidance, those kind of readings, also known as a psychic reading, are basically possibilities. Just because I say something does not mean it's set in stone, does not mean it's going to for sure happen. Most of the time it does happen, but we do have the free will to make the change, those changes to go down a different path. And when it comes to time frames can shift depending on your free will choices and the other people's free will choices. So we always have the free will to change things. So just because something comes through does not mean it's necessarily going to happen. Most of the time it does. Haven't had a reading where, except for relationships, because relationships are a lot of free will. Like you can be thrown in, you can meet somebody, but it's up to you guys on if you're going to make that work or not. So that, and then you would validate as you go, as I hit on stuff. So that's an intuitive guidance reading. Mediumship, it is, as I get the information, past, present, or future, and all of that, you would, validate, this is how, yes, it makes sense, and this is how it makes sense. The how and why of how things make sense kind of helps the reading flow a little bit. It helps me know that I'm with the correct energy, and I can stay with that energy and to get the information. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know, before we do the reading. So you would shoot the donation to one of these things that is on the screen right there. I'll put your name down, and let me get the invite link. Speaking of, my 16-year-old Chi is being very clingy lately. Hey, Grammy. Poppy, stop. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, once you make the donation, just let me know you're making it, and then we'll go from there. Haven't seen you in a while, Grammy. Did you find that stuff you were looking for? So is anybody going to be doing a reading tonight, or are we going to do? Or are you guys going to contact me for private ones, or? Okay. Let me just. Where'd you send it to? I didn't get it. Well, probably because I turned off my sound. Let me check real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, Grammy. I'm looking for your donation. Where did you send it to? Okay, I got it. All right. Okay, so just click that link I pinned to the top. You're okay. It's all good. Hey, stop it, dude. Hey, stop being weird. What are you guys doing? Weirdo. What is wrong with you tonight, Duke? Can you find the link, Pisces things? There you are. Okay, I want to make sure you can find the link. I don't know why your thing is like gray. I think you can turn off your camera, or you can turn on your camera. Okay. I have a headache and I don't know who it belongs to. Someone. I have a headache and I don't know who it belongs to. Someone. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I have this fan on. I hate it, but it kind of annoys me because it's loud, but my air conditioner isn't working. So, all right. So we're gonna do intuitive guidance for you then.
Yes.
All right. So you can just go ahead and start with your question.
Okay, my question is about my finances. I'm trying to figure out when things will start looking up for me as far as my finances.
Okay. So there's a reference to now timelines can shift, but I keep getting like the end of this year, like towards December. I think there's going to be some kind of change because they keep showing me the month of December. But next year I think is where you're going to really see
Mhm.
some sort of change. I don't know if it's going to be just, a bump up, um, some sort of it just feels like it's gonna change. It's gonna shift,
Okay.
but it's because they tell me that you might see a little bit in like I said December, or that might something might happen to start the shift in December,
Hmm.
but they really take me to next year.
Okay.
When things start to get a little bit um
Now, does this have to do with a career or something that I'm going to be doing myself? Do you think?
so are you thinking about doing because I hear the word entrepreneur. um
Yes.
okay, so do you it's okay, so it's almost like, do you have a career now, but you're thinking about shifting?
No, I have a business that I'm thinking about shifting.
Okay. So I think when you shift is when you're gonna see the change, because that's why I keep getting the shift. And I don't know when your shifting is gonna happen. Like if you're thinking about like next year,
That
because it
sounds
feels
right.
like,
About
I
December. I was thinking about December.
okay, that's why that's probably why I'm getting
That's
December
crazy.
then. Okay, then,
Yeah.
that's validating. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's when you're gonna see, so I think it's a good idea according to
Okay,
what,
great.
because I think
That's
that December was a validation.
definitely
You know what
okay,
I mean?
great.
Because they were telling me that's when you were gonna start to see a change, and then it shifted into next year, and I'm getting chills with that. So, I feel like it's a good business decision.
Great.
Um,
Perfect. Mhm.
because I see it was funny because I heard windfall.
Mhm.
So whatever you're doing and shifting with, it's gonna be I hear abundance. You're gonna have more abundance than you do now. So
Great.
not they're not telling me exactly what, but they keep telling me, you're doing a shift,
Mhm.
and you're shifting on a lot of different levels. It feels like it's not just I don't think it's just financially. I think it's also going to help build
Definitely.
your confidence, and it's going to shift your energy level to where you're able to attract more. If that makes sense.
Definitely. Okay, great. And another question
Okay.
would be about a relationship. When would I meet somebody, start dating somebody?
Okay. So when it comes to relationships, timelines are kind of crazy. Because it all depends kind of on your free will, where your life is at, or their free will, where their life is at,
Mhm.
and the divine timing of everything kind of coming together. It feels like, first of all, your stuff with your business and over everything needs to
Mhm.
get going first. So
Definitely.
it feels like that's going to get going. I keep getting a reference to possibly middle of next year. It can be anywhere from now until then, but I feel like it's not until your business is up and running and all of that's going. Like it feels like right now wouldn't be the right time because you
Okay.
don't really have time. You're too focused on what you're doing now. You know what I mean? Like it's not a good
Definitely.
time for a relationship. So that's why I don't feel like it's not going to be for a little bit. I do see a guy, um tall, dark, and handsome. He shows, like, they show me his hair, his, like, he's kind of bald. He's bald.
Okay.
And he wears, I don't know if he wears glasses all the times, but I see him in glasses.
Oh wow.
So, he's got kind of a slimmer face, pretty fit. He does some kind of business himself.
Wow, cool.
So, but it'll shift depending on where your life at and where his life is at. But I definitely feel there's someone coming. But it might be a little bit down the line once things start flowing for you.
Okay, and how about any kids in my future?
There's a reference to 2. Now, that may be, you may have more than that, less than that, but I got a 2 right away.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like, but I get 5 years. So possibly within the next 5 years, and again, timelines can shift, but it can be any time between now and the next 5 years. And I keep getting, yeah, they show me 2. I don't know if they're
Okay.
going to come at the same time or not, but as of now,
Wow.
that's what they show me is 2 within the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And what's weird is I see a boy and a girl. Now, between now and then, they can kind of change their, if they want, they change their sex depending on what they want to come here to learn. But I keep getting a boy and a girl for now.
Wow. Awesome. Great. Well, that helped a lot. I don't have any more questions.
You'll have to let me know if any of like
Uh-huh.
how your business is going.
Uh-huh.
And if anything happens, I'm curious because a lot of times when I make predictions like this,
Mhm.
especially pregnancies,
Yes.
it usually happens. So
Definitely.
I like to know like when it happens with people because it's kind of
Definitely.
a hard one.
And I spoke to you a while back, and this was basically like a validation reading for me. So
Okay.
everything that you told me a while back, and you don't even know who I am right now.
I don't.
You just said, yeah, you just repeated everything that
Oh,
you told me a
okay.
while back last year.
I'm
So
glad
yes.
it's the same.
Definitely.
If I would have gave different answers, I would have been like, oh shit.
Definitely. I so much appreciate it, Rachel. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a
Uh-huh.
good one.
Uh-huh. You
Thanks for the
too.
test, I should say.
Uh-huh. You're welcome. Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Night. Hey guys, 1 second. I gotta see what this bug is. I hope it's not a spider. I don't know what it was. It's a balled up black thing, and I think one of the dogs picked it up or something. I can't find it. I hope they didn't eat it if it was a spider. I don't know. I literally don't see it anywhere. We have had a spider on live before, okay? I tried to take it outside and I accidentally killed it. So we have had that before. Well, that was a nice test. Give the same thing to at least the same information came in, huh? uh, Thank you, Grey Wolf. I'm so lucky that that the same information came through right now, because if it wouldn't have, that would have been bad. Although things can shift, they can change, you know what I mean? Like I said, nothing is set in stone. It's all in the choices and decisions that we make in the long run. Where did that thing go? My cat looks like it's still hunting something. Roscoe. He still looks like he's hunting. Like, what is it? You guys are driving me crazy. What is it? You're freaking me out. What is it? Where did it go? What are you after? I hate when you guys act like you're doing that. Every time they do that, it is a spider. And it's like usually a wolf spider. It keeps me out. Oh, that happened to me, Mel. I actually just did that to someone. She had a mediumship reading, and in the mediumship reading, I kept seeing her holding a baby boy. And we kind of thought it was her sister, but I was like, no, because it was a boy, and I thought I remembered getting a girl for her sister, which a couple weeks after I said that, her sister ends up pregnant. And I think it's possibly a girl. We'll find. I don't know if they found out or not yet. So, anyways, I was giving the mediumship reading, and it was the mom. They both had separate readings with their mom, and I saw her holding a baby boy, and she said, "You know, I wasn't feeling very good, so I wanted to go take a pregnancy test, and I took a pregnancy test, and I'm pregnant." And this was the day before that we did the reading, and she didn't know. So her mom basically spilled the beans that she was pregnant before she found out. So that was pretty validating. That kind of blew me away. So yeah, I mean, that's one of my specialties for some reason. Yeah, and I'm curious to see if hers is going to be a boy because I think her sister's having a girl. And it's weird they're pregnant at the same time. And mom told me both of them were going to be pregnant. So it was kind of crazy, but that just happened recently. But for some reason, pregnancies, spirit loves to give me pregnancies, and I'm usually about pretty accurate with the. I think I've only been wrong once, and that was because the energy he felt more feminine. But usually I'm right on the gender, and with pregnancy, they usually come back to tell me, yeah, I got pregnant and it's a boy, blah blah blah, or it's a girl, whatever. So I got a pretty good accuracy rate when it comes to pregnancies and stuff like that, and genders. Yeah, it's weird. My ability, it does run in the family. From what I understand, it does run in the family. My grandma had some sort of ability. Her grandma or her mom had some sort of ability. It kind of runs down the feminine line. And my mom sees spirit. My mom has some kind of ability. But she doesn't really do anything with hers. She chooses not to. So she doesn't really like it. Like we went to Tombstone and she doesn't like feeling the pains and stuff like that. I remember she had a pain in her ankle. We were there and she's like, no, I don't like this. How do you deal with this? I'm like, I like to feel it because it helps me with my reading. So let me know. So yeah, it runs kind of in my feminine line. My son was really gifted too when he was younger, but he kind of blocked it off. I'm hoping he'll come back into it. Oh, thank you, Grey Whiff. That's very sweet of you to say. I do try to help others. That is, I mean, my gift and my work is rewarding because of that, Yeah, it's weird, Sam, because when I first, I think the first time I really started realizing I could get genders, because they'll show me pink or blue, for genders, and there's different things that they show me. Like sometimes they'll show me one with the belly, sometimes they'll show me holding a baby, sometimes they'll show me a spirit on the other side has a baby. So it depends on how they show it to me. But like about 10 years ago, before I even realized I was gifted or had any gifts, one of my friends at the time was pregnant and I guessed on her baby. And then the second time I guessed on her baby and I was right on both times. So I think that was like the first time I was like, whoa, I got that right. Yeah, I guess a lot. And I mean, it happens a lot where I'm able to predict pregnancies and genders. I get a lot of people that come back to me and say that it's happened, especially recently. I just had someone, and I posted it, say that I told her 6 months ago that she was going to be pregnant in now, not her, but her daughter or something, or granddaughter. I can't remember. They're going to be pregnant now, and they are. And I said it was going to be a boy, and it is. So I like when that stuff happens. It's very validating. Anybody else wanting to pop on here? I should plug my phone in or my computer in, I guess. So for the lives, it's a 25 minimum donation. And then for private readings, I have 20 minutes that are $40, and then, it goes up depending on how long of a reading you want. As long as I have the energy to be here. I don't really put a set time for it. Sometimes you go a couple hours, sometimes you go 1 hour, sometimes you go 3 hours. It just depends on, whenever I'm just done, energetically. Yeah, well, I mean, I have all these ways: Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Facebook, Zelle, Chime. I don't have the Chime on there, but I do have that. Okay, Jen. Or you can do a private reading, once you figure that out. So I'm not sure how, as long as I keep getting readings, I'll be here. But if I don't keep getting readings, I'm not just gonna sit here and talk. So also, weirdly, like doing live, sitting here talking to you guys, it does drain me. I don't know why. Haven't figured that out yet. But lives in general drain me. Yes, thank you. That was very sweet of you, Grey Wolf. I got a cold, so hard. Oh, I understand. Sorry you have a cold. Get lots of vitamin C in you. Vitamin C, elderberry, echinacea, zinc, colloidal silver, all that good stuff. 25 minimum donation, and then you would just click the link and come on here, depending on what kind of reading you want. If you want mediumship, I need a picture emailed to me. If you want intuitive guidance, just questions, just like the one I just did if you were here for that one. Yeah, the link to come on here is at the top, and all those links are how you make donations, or all the stuff on there. And I obviously don't remember what I get in any of my readings. I have to be reminded all the time. I'm glad that it matched hers, though. Spirit will take energy from tech. Do you think the camera and stuff takes from you too? Do you think it's different when alone doing a personal reading in person? It just, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Like when I do like readings over Messenger or whatever, I mean, I get drained from spirit like normally. I get drained when I'm looking on a map for some reason, because I get pulled in different directions depending, maybe there's a body here, or murder happened here. Like I get that. I know that that's why that drains me. When it comes to you guys, I'm kind of empathic and a clairsentient, so just I think that's part of it. And I think we did figure out that Dylan was messing with my mic that one live, because I guess he's pretty mischievous. And I have not had a problem with this mic since that happened. So it had to be spirit that time with the mic. I mean, I don't know. I think just being live and talking to you guys just drains me for some reason. Don't say you got bad luck, girl. When you talk about having bad luck, you'll bring bad luck on you, or you'll bring negativity on you. You have to think positive and try to think positive about things. Because remember, our minds create. So if we're thinking we got bad luck all the time, we do have bad luck all the time. You have to change your mindset. So Dana, where did you send your donation so I could check it real quick? Oh, never mind. I just saw your chat. Okay. Hey, where'd the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I can't see the comments. Oh, what the freaking A is going on here? There we go. I lost you guys for a second. I understand, but you have to change. You have to see when we have kind of a hard time in life, it's because we sort of chose a harder life to learn more from. But sometimes you have to kind of shift your mindset, because when things get bad, we start thinking, oh, well, this sucks. Oh, well, that sucks. And it causes almost like a spiral downward. You have to shift your mindset. You ever like attracts like? Okay. We can create things with our mind. What, you ever heard of manifestation? So you have to start changing your mindset and start thinking more positive and start manifesting things. There's some YouTube videos that you can do to, help your aura, help your chakras, all of that. Clear your energy fields, clear out whatever. There's lots of meditations and binaural beats and things like that that you can use to help you with that. No, I haven't, 10, because I don't know much about it, honestly. I mean, I think that things are only what you give the energy for them to be. So, yeah, I do have Facebook Pay. Good to see you, Johnny. Yeah, you got to just start. You got to change your mindset. I mean, it's been proven that if you ever watch The Secret or things on manifestation, like literally our minds create and we can create. Yeah, you guys, our minds, you'd be surprised how powerful our minds are. We can bring good or bad to us, just depending. Yes, you can. So Tara's 25. Hold on one second. Trying to help Dana real quick. All right, Tara, you're going to be after Dana. I just am waiting for Dana to come on. Well, I'm waiting for her to figure out how to send the donation. And Terry, you're the Endless Investigates, right? I want to make sure I have the right people. Oh. Well, sometimes things can turn into like manifest in your body depending. I was trying to look, Dana, I don't know. I'm trying to help Dana because she no, I don't. I'm seeing if I have you on Venmo, if you send it on there. I don't think so. I don't know. PayPal? No. Hey, you're okay. Hey. That's my spirit dog. I mean, I always call her that because she always does that out of nowhere, and I swear it's because of spirit. She was the one that was very antsy last night. She just went down the hallway for no reason. What are you doing, Cheyenne? It's okay. It's okay. What are you after? See, she acts like she sees something. It trips me out. She acts like she sees spirit more than cats do. Yeah, she's the only one that I notice like sees spirit, and I don't know if that's because she was really sick when she was little, but I don't know. She just well, Dana's trying to. She can't figure out how she paid me last time when we did something, and she can't. I can't remember either. I'm trying to figure out what to do as far as that's concerned. Well, she ran down the hallway for no reason right now, and she came in looking around like she had seen something. Yeah, cats are usually more on the astral plane. Okay, so cats work on the astral plane, and my EMF is going off right now. It went all the way to the red. I really need to figure out a way to show you guys that. Anyways, so cats work on the astral plane where they work with spirit. They're good to have to protect your home. They will follow a bad spirit, make sure why it's here. So that's how cats work. Cats work on the, the astral plane. Dogs work more on the physical plane. They can still sense stuff, but they work here on the physical plane more. So animals are always, yes, very sensitive, but that's usually how it works. And horses, I guess, are very intuitive. I just know, like, cats work more on the astral plane. They protect your house from negative entities and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys know that. That's why I have so many cats. I don't have a lot of negative experiences. But I notice they do, they do protect. And then she's just the only dog that really reacts to spirit. It's kind of weird. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's her connection to me. But she's the one that was like antsy last night, and like I said, she'll be sleeping all the time. She'll sit up and start growling at nothing. And she's the only one that does that. So we're just waiting real quick on Dana to figure this out. Dana, do you want me to answer Tara's question while you are trying to figure this out? I'm gonna go ahead and do Tara real quick, and then you'll be after her. It'll give you a chance to figure that out, and people aren't just like, waiting. Facebook Pay would be best because Super Sticker I have to wait a whole month, and YouTube has to take like 35%. So although I appreciate the Super Stickers and whatnot, it's better to send us direct donation or direct pay. You can do Facebook Pay, yes, Johnny. And you need to message me on if you've heard anything, because I have not. Hey, Angie. Long time no see. It was weird. After the dog did that, though, my EMF went way up to red in like a couple times and came back down. So there's definitely someone here. I see you on here. Sorry, if you guys don't know, I have goats and I have dogs outside that protect them from coyotes. Sometimes the coyotes are really loud, and they scare me a little bit. So that's what they're doing, is they're warning the coyotes to stay away. So if you hear the dogs barking outside, that's what they're doing. So I'm just gonna bring Tara on and work on her, and then Dana. It still shows Dana is in the back room. Still. Let me try one thing with her real quick to try to help her out. I'll send her a PayPal me link, and maybe that'll help her. 1 second. Thank you for being. I haven't heard of that. Set up donations through Streamlabs. The notification comes through here on YouTube, but you get all the money donated. I've never heard of that. I'll have to check into that featured pick, because it would be easier for people, I'm sure. Oh, now you want to be stupid, phone. Huh. Streamlabs, huh? I'll have to check into that. I've never heard of that. Okay. Thank you for being patient, guys. Now PayPal decides it wants to not open. I'm trying to help her out. She's a little stressed. Hold on a second. And if Dana, if we don't get to you, I'll just message you privately and do it. That's fine. But I don't know why now my phone is messing up. What is going on? Let me close some of this stuff. They do. They take like 35%. It's kind of ridiculous. So that's why I was like, I enjoy the super stickers and stuff, but they take a lot of it. Let me figure this out. Okay, I've only done like the PayPal me link like once. Oh crap. Where is that PayPal me link at? Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help her. How come I can't find it? Oh, here we go. Got it. Took me forever to find it because I only sent it like twice. All right. Okay. And Dana fell off. So, I can't even take her out of here. So work on Tara real quick and then all right. I don't know really if they're messing with me. It's just technology. It's Mercury retrograde still. So with the 6 planets in retrograde screwing everything up. All right. Hey, Tara.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. How are you? We get to see you this time.
I know. I get to see your face too. So I guess my questions are kind of about my children right now. While we had a few minutes, I thought I would discuss my son Braden, and I wondered if you could give me any information on how to be the best mom to him and any needs that he needs, and if you see any things in his future. And then again, my daughter Brielle, which we've talked a little bit about already previously.
Okay, let's do one at a time. So I don't get their energies mixed up.
Yep.
So one thing we have to remember with our children is that they have their own blueprints and their own lessons and things that they have to go through in their life. So although we're trying to be the best mom and everything that we can to them, they still have their lessons that they've got to go through the same way that we've gone through life. Okay.
Right.
So I always try to remind people of that because, sometimes sometimes they take the hard road and sometimes they take the easy road, just like we did. Can you send me a picture of him? Sometimes it helps.
How do I do that though?
Through Messenger.
Okay. Yep, I can definitely do that. Will it take?
That'll just help. It'll just help with I sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it helps with me to try to get a better read on him.
Let me see. Let me see how I can do that for sure.
Uh-oh, I might have lost her now. Sometimes it helps me connect better. There we go. She's back.
I can put you back on. I just as far as how do I send it without getting out of this, I guess is what I don't know.
Am I on a messenger bubble? I'm not.
I'm on StreamYard with you.
Yeah, but you should still be able to see a Facebook Messenger bubble.
Okay. It might just look like I'm popped out for a second. Okay, let me look at it. Okay.
I'll see if that works. Send me both of them. Johnny, there is no link for Facebook page. Just go into the messenger where we talk and you can just do it through there. Because I believe we talk on Facebook Messenger, or we have.
Did you get those?
Yes, I did. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna start with your son first because you asked about him first.
Yeah.
So, okay, he comes across as like a very sweet-natured kid. He's very, I hear the word rambunctious at times, but all boys are a little rambunctious at times. Mostly he feels very gentle, and a good-natured person, I guess is how it comes across. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's very, like, obviously in this picture he's holding a fish, but they show me that he's like active, outdoorsy. He likes to do things. He's adventurous. I get adventurous with him. And I feel like does he get bored really easily?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So one thing with him is keeping him busy, with like his mind busy and stuff like that. Cause I feel like he's super smart. And I feel like even with school, like and I got the chills, like even with school, he might get a little bored or be like, I don't want to do this because he's too smart for it. But it kind of reminds me of my son, like with ADHD, how he just didn't want to do the work because he was kind of too smart for it, but he didn't want to deal with it. Because it feels like his mind kind of goes, a lot.
He almost learns some stuff so quickly sometimes it's like mind
Yeah,
boggling
he's
to me, like photographic.
I feel like he's really, really smart.
Yes, I would agree.
And so he might even be on the gifted side. So I would make sure that you are, if he needs to like be in a gifted program, put him in a gifted program. If he needs to kind of be challenged a little bit, make sure that he's being challenged, because I feel like otherwise he's going to get bored. And later on in life, that can lead to problems. We all know what happens when we get bored with things. Right. We try going off and to try other things, right? I think as long as he stays focused and he gets some goals going, that he'll be okay. So I think goals are really important to start talking to him now, like maybe, what he wants to do as a career or what he wants to do, for school. Does he want to go to college? Like that stuff. Start talking about that now so that he can start thinking about what he really wants to do. Like I did that with my son. He still don't know what he wants to do, but that's how I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but some kids, they just know. And so I feel like it's important to get him kind of on that life path. I feel like he's very, like I see him hugging you. Is he kind of affectionate? Like, I love you, mommy. Like,
like 8 times a day.
He's showing like so affectionate with you. Please enjoy that because I miss that. Mine used to be like that too. And then when he got to a certain age, he quit.
Sometimes I'm like, I cannot believe how much my son hugs me a day. Like I just cannot
enjoy it because I know with mine it didn't last, but not saying it won't with his, but as they get older, they change.
It amazes me.
Yeah. So just he needs that love and attention. I get the word special. He's very special in different ways, and I feel like he could actually be very successful. Comes across as if he puts his mind to work, and like he could do really well and be successful. I also see him as being a sort of family man. Because they show me there's a reference to a wife and 2 children that are a possibility in his future. So, and I'm getting the chills with that, but he very much would like to take care of someone. And I feel like she's a lot like you. Like he's going to kind of go towards women that are like his mom. I know they say that boys do that, but it feels like that's what he will, and it's not in a weird way. It's just my son does that. His girlfriend right now is a lot like me, and they're opposite. It's weird because they're nothing alike, but they're both Capricorns. But she's like me. She's all into the, the paranormal and animals, and he's not. And I don't know why that is, but she's very much like me. So I'm getting that reference that he's going to kind of, be drawn to women that are more like your personality, I guess.
I just got to say this quickly because you said, Mom, for the first time, I think your girl's cute. And I just got to say, she kind of reminds me of you. She's got blonde hair. Like,
that's so funny that I said that. And I know it's not, I'm not saying it in a weird way.
She kind of reminds me of you. And I think she's pretty. She's cute.
It's not, it's not like in a weird way. Cause even my son's dad was like, dude, you got to quit picking women like your mom. Cause it's like the second time he's done this. But I don't know. It feels like it's more like a personality thing.
Yeah, we have a special bond tonight.
Yeah. And that's why I'm feeling like you guys have a really special bond. I think you do a really good job with him. I mean, you're the best mom that you can be with him. You listen to him when he needs you to listen to him. If he needs to talk to you about something, you're there for him. If he needs something, you do it for him. Like, you're a good mom. Regardless of, some of the issues that you have, you still do your best. So that comes in as you're not, I think sometimes as moms, we're always hard on ourselves. I think sometimes you're a little too hard on yourself. Like, he feels loved. He knows he's loved. He's happy. He feels like a very well-rounded child. And I think he's going to be a very well-rounded adult as long as he stays focused and he hangs out with the correct crowd.
Okay.
Because I feel like, he kind of has that personality a little bit. He's strong-minded and strong-willed, but this kind of personality, if it's the right person that's like, hey, you want to come do this, like, he might go try it. And that's
he can be a little bit of a follower at times.
Right, a follower. And that's what I'm saying. It depends on the person. So as long as he, like, as far as those kind of things in life, like drugs, alcohol, all of that, just make sure you have talks with him about how bad they are, which I know you probably already do that. Because, we all try to do the best we can with our kids, and regardless, they're going to make the choices that they need to make for whatever reason. And we really can't, all we can do is try to teach them the best that we can, but kind of the rest is up to them because it's their lessons they got to learn. So, but I do, I see, like I said, he's a good kid. I don't see him like I feel like he has goals, aspirations, dreams. And if he doesn't know completely what he wants to do now, he will know completely what he wants to do. Like, I feel like he, sometimes he thinks about it. It feels like he
does more than most kids his age, I think.
Yeah, he's very like I keep being drawn to this whole fishing thing, but it's more like he's very outdoorsy. He's very he likes to do new things. He's adventurous. Get that adventurous spirit with him, but in a good way. So,
do you see anything with sports with him?
Does he play baseball by chance?
Not baseball.
Well, I keep seeing him hitting a baseball. So
he has played baseball before. He hasn't gotten into baseball completely yet.
It's kind of boring sometimes. It can be kind of boring sometimes, but for some reason I see him swinging a baseball.
But he definitely has a sport he's gotten really into this year, especially, and he's fallen pretty in love with it. And he got right on some pretty good teams, and I mean, he's really advanced quite quickly. In fact, I've never seen, I have a child, I coached this sport before, and I coach it with a lot of kids, and I've never seen a kid apply what I teach them, or even my husband when he's teached kids this sport. I've never seen somebody apply it in practice one time into a game.
He's naturally. You talking about soccer? Basketball. I just saw him running. I was like, that doesn't tell me anything.
He just can apply.
I think I'm picking up all these different sports because I think really anything he applies himself to, he's gonna be good at. And I think it is possible that he might try different sports throughout, just to try them, because like when I was in high school, I played different sports. Whenever the season would come up, I'd play a new sport. So I don't think it's just gonna be one sport with him. And I had a hard time too because I liked basketball and I liked soccer, and I did both. Like I did one year and one the next year, so it was hard for me because I had a hard time choosing. But so I think that he's able to do basically anything that he wants to do. He feels very gifted in a lot of different ways. So I get college scholarship with the sports, I think. If he sticks with it.
And
he could even get that with his grades, honestly, because I feel like I said, he's super smart as long as he doesn't get lazy.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Sometimes he can get lazy because I think he just doesn't have to work very hard at it because he just gets it quickly.
Mm-hmm. So I think he could get college scholarship for either one of those, but I see him being kind of a jock, honestly. But I like when there's not basketball, it'll be another sport. I think that's why I'm picking up multiple sports with him, not just one.
Do you see any certain career for him in particular that he would?
That's what I was trying to pick up on, honestly, but I just get that he's going to be successful, but I don't know, maybe they're not giving me a specific
at night
I'm successful whatever he does. I get business around him, but at the same time I'm also feeling like I get business around him a lot, but at the same time, does he like animals?
He does. He loves animals.
Because I think there's a possibility. It's like he has a choice between business and veterinarian, and it might even be the same. Like he has his own business as a veterinarian. Like it's possible it could be both. It's either one or the other or both.
I would agree with that 100%. He's been in zoo camp since I can remember, and he knew what a Stygimoloch was, and I had no idea what that was. By the time he was 2, he knew what a Gila monster was. When he was 2, one is a dinosaur and one is a type of lizard. I had no idea. He was teaching me all kinds of names of animals, and I was like, that is not a dinosaur, and it absolutely was a dinosaur.
Hopefully he sticks with it, because I know my son wanted to be a vet at one time, and then he changed his mind. I doesn't know what he wants to be. He went from animal loving to not animal loving. So
he went to podcast and he listens to business podcasts. I caught him listening to it. I'm like, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
And he listens to how to be a businessman at night before bed. And I'm like, you're 12. Like, who does that?
He's very much an old soul. And I really don't think you're going to have to worry with him as long as he stays on the path, as long as he doesn't stray from the path and make bad decisions. I mean, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He comes across as a very kind-hearted kid.
Yeah. Health-wise, you see he's okay. Everything's good with him.
Yeah, as far as from what they're showing me, everything's good with him.
I feel like that too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. So let's go to your daughter.
Okay.
She's more of a handful, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She was more of like, whoa.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm getting them more of a like he's like the good kid, and she's the more like getting to everything, like harder to handle. She's like the wild child, is what I want to say.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say she gave me more of a run for my money.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was going to get 2 alike children, and they're opposite.
No, they're absolutely opposite, is what I'm getting. Like he's like more balanced and more, and she's just kind of all over the place. I get like wild child with her. So her you might have some problems with as she gets older and getting into the partying and stuff like that. It seems like
Okay. I'd rather know now, and so I can prepare
yeah.
for that.
So I mean I just feel like it's something like she might gravitate towards a little bit because she's she's got that free spirit wild part is the way it kind of comes in. But at the same time, if all of that is channeled, you know, she could just bypass that and just do really good. And for some reason, I see volleyball with her. So I don't know if at some point she would want to play volleyball, but that's coming in. I actually think she'd be really good at it. So I feel like some point she's going to play. I mean, that's what they're showing me is volleyball with her, which that's my favorite sport. So
yeah, I like volleyball too.
Yeah.
Height-wise, did you see height with my son? And then my daughter? How about my daughter?
Did I see what?
Height-wise?
No, not really. I mean, they don't need to be tall to play volleyball.
I know. I just because we're both pretty short, but they keep telling me my son's going to be very tall, and
yeah, I mean, they could hit a growth spurt, and I mean, I don't think she's going to be short like 5'2" like me. I mean, I played volleyball. I played volleyball. I got over the net, and I'm 5'2". It just, I was a good server. I was a good digger. Like I mostly seen her digging the ball, you know. So I think she'll be like a normal height. They tend to is their dad tall?
No, neither one of us. That's why I feel like she's normal height, but they keep telling me that my son's going to be over 6 foot, and I just can't believe it hardly because we're not very tall. But my husband is taller than both his parents, so I'm like, maybe, but it just seems crazy because they said he's been in the 80 to 90 percentile his entire life.
Yeah, it depends
he's
on
5'4" right now. It
kind of depends on like the genes, you know, not just the mom and dad, but somewhere in the genes. Like my son's like super tall, and look at me, I'm like 5'2", and he's like he towers over me. But he's got height on his dad's side. His dad's not super tall, but his brother's tall. My dad was tall, and I ended up being short.
Yeah, we do each have tall.
So
yeah, my dad's taller, my mom's tall. I mean, there's some tallness on each side, but it just surprised me.
I think
anyway,
I don't think he's gonna be 6 foot. I don't think he's gonna be that tall.
I was like,
I think they'll be like an average height, both of them.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it comes in, and is she like at that phase where she's wanting to put on makeup and stuff like that?
Well, she just did the other day. She put on all kinds of makeup on her face. Yeah.
I was seeing her like putting makeup on her face.
Yeah.
So she's getting at that, you know, age where she's gonna want to. And I think that'll be a big thing with her for some reason. Makeup comes in as possibly being kind of a big thing with her. For some reason, they show me, you know, those people that like put on makeup on TikTok and stuff like that. I don't know if she'll go that far with it, but I keep getting that reference.
She might like very interested in it, and I seem to be like kind of like, I don't want you to focus on beauty.
Yeah, but I mean,
my mom is very focused on beauty, and it always bothered me.
She's kind of a diva, though.
Yes.
Yeah, she's kind of a diva. So
that is what I used to have a shirt on her that said diva.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Because I actually heard that word. I was like, she's kind of a diva, though.
Yeah. She's a little more high maintenance.
Yeah, she is. She's very different, which I've heard that a lot of the little girls are. They say that boys are easier, which I don't know. Mine was very hard. So I think it just depends on the personalities.
She woke up happy in the morning, smiling at me, and she wakes up like this.
Yeah.
But she's very, very, very attached to me. To the point where sometimes it causes a problem for me and my son because she will like.
She wants all the attention.
Yeah, like if he sits next to me, she might punch him in the face. I mean, you don't know
Yeah.
what's going to come out. And
You
she's
gotta-
not really a violent kid, but just like about me, she can
She's
be very
jealous.
possessive.
She's jealous and possessive, and she wants the attention, but you got to nip that in the butt, because that's not an okay thing. She has to learn how to share. Even though she doesn't like to share, she needs to learn how to share.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I feel like needs to be nipped in the butt now, because you don't want her to be a, you know what, down the road. I don't even want to say the word, a B down the road.
I just can't, I don't really relate, because I was more like my son. Like I was more like, hey, let's share. Like, here's what's mine is yours.
And
so
you don't want her,
like,
because you know those girls are kind of like the mean girls in school. You don't want her to be like that, because I feel like she has a tendency to go that way if it's not wrangled in now. With kind of a bitchy attitude is kind of,
I don't want that.
She has, it's possible, if we don't kind of fix that now, that's how it's gonna be. Because I see her also have a tendency to getting into fights.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they show me a fight, so it's now that might not happen, but it could just be a warning that they're saying, this is a tendency to happen if you're not careful. We don't get this kind of personality under control.
Well, she is my heart. She is my more difficult one. There's no doubt about that.
I mean,
she's certainly in parenting that
she's almost like, okay, so this is kind of what they show me as for a symbolic thing. Okay, she's got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. So it's like she can be very sweet and very angel-like sometimes, and then the other times she's just like the devil side. So that's what they show me, like a 50-50 kind of thing.
Right.
As a symbolic thing, that's what they're showing me as far as how her personality is. Like, I feel like she could flip a switch and like real quick. So I mean, that's something that needs to get under control. Basically,
need to really work on that with her.
It's just kind of a warning. And that comes with her lessons and why she chose this. Those are some things that she's gonna have to overcome.
To me, is there anything that she needs from me as a mother that I can do to make sure that she doesn't, like, any certain behaviors that I can I mean, I know you're saying nip it in the bud a little bit, but like anything in particular, like kind of behavior wise, like discipline wise, that is better for her than maybe that worked for my son. That doesn't seem to be working with her as quite as much, because she tends to just fall apart crying. Like if I put him in timeout, he was like,
I was going to tell you, do you give in to her? Do you give in to her? Like after you, like if you take something away, you give it back, or if you ground her, you let her out. Like you don't follow through.
Sometimes we do a little bit with her. She just tends, like my son, like when he did something wrong, he was like, okay, Mom, I'm sorry. Like we got this figured out. We're going to talk about it through it, and we're going to do it. And with her, she might carry on and cry, and she's dramatic, and it can carry on. And sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't, like sometimes it'll be like a thing where even my husband will be like, just give her what she wants. She won't stop, like.
Yeah. So that's why she does it. She's playing, you guys.
I know.
She's playing. That's why she does it. She knows if she cries and she acts a certain way, you're going to do it. So that's one thing you're just going to have to learn, is to ignore that. Because she needs to know that you guys are going to stick to your guns. Otherwise, she's just going to walk all over you. It feels like she has the tendency to walk all over you if she can. And she knows how to play you. She's manipulative in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's a tough one. And I mean, if you need help counseling down the road or whatever, don't be afraid to ask for that. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Because it's almost like, I mean, right now it feels more like I was saying, like she's more manipulative and stuff like that. But it feels like down the road, I don't know if I don't know if this is like bipolar tendencies or
borderline or something like
yeah,
that. Just because I have some like, I graduated with a
in the
psychology degree.
genetics.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean just keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. Okay.
That might be why I'm getting like the two different kind of characteristics and why she switches
because
so
she's
fast.
the sweetest. She's the kindest to her baby. She will. This morning she made everybody breakfast. She took care of everyone. I love you constantly, but then she can also be a bit manipulative at times too.
That's why I'm getting like the two different personalities kind of thing.
Okay.
So with
Did you
her,
say that I can kind of skip every generation too? They say something with that. I thought.
yeah, I think so. I mean,
okay.
So she's gonna be more of a problem child, I think. Her teenage years, I feel like her teenage years are gonna be a struggle with you guys.
She's okay.
Like I mean, and it might not be. Like I said, this might just be a warning, and it's gonna be depending on her choices. But I feel like she's gonna be one of those ones that might want to sneak out, might want to go party, you know what I mean? Wants her freedom. She wants to go hang out, but she might go the other way. It just depends. It's gonna depend on just whatever choices she makes, really, because she has the type of personality to be like a wild child. And I think that it's when you get in the teenage years and you kind of get that freedom, that I feel like gonna kind of come out. She's gonna have the tendency to be kind of a party girl. So I don't know.
Well,
not to scare you. I'm just saying it's like a warning so that you can kind of work on it now and also what you can look for in the future, you know, when you start looking for, you know, like who she's hanging out with, what she's doing, blah blah blah.
I'll be honest.
As far as like her future, like with your son, it was more clear. It's kind of up in the air, going to depend on her choices and decisions with her teenage years.
Okay, so she could be a little bit tougher for me, and then just now. What about her attachment with me? What do you see about that?
I think it comes across as you guys. I think you had a past life together. There's something about her clinging to you in this life because I think she might have lost you in another. That's why it feels like she's so clinging with you. Like her soul recognizes that. You know what I mean? It's almost like either you left or you passed away or something to where you ended up leaving her. And so that's why she's so clingy and she hangs on a little bit more.
Yeah, because sometimes I have to be honest, where sometimes I feel like a little bit overwhelmed with the clinginess. Like I've never felt that way. My kids are my life, and I'm totally like I love them dearly, but like from the time she was born, like she has been very much like just very clingy to me.
And what you can do is like when she's sleeping, like this is what I learned a long time ago. Like when she's sleeping, you can talk to her and tell her you're in this life now. I'm not going anywhere. You know, you can kind of talk to her as she's sleeping, reminding her that she's in this life, not that life, and she doesn't have to be so clingy to you, because I feel like it has something to do with another life to where she lost you and she doesn't want you to go again. So that's why she's clinging.
Because my mom often, she will say, I think it's because she knows somehow that you're not in the best of health and this is your fault, because, you know, she thinks like something's wrong with you physically, so that she has to protect you. And I'm like, I try to hide that from her as best as I can. I feel like.
But I mean, at the same time, you can't hide it completely because you're human and she still in a way needs to know like what's going on. So but like I'm saying, I think that that might have something to do with it, but I think it also stems from whatever you went through before where you actually did leave her. And so it might be the fact that you are maybe not in the best health or whatever that's bringing up that soul memory, and so she's clinging. So that's what I learned. Like, and I would tell my son, because he would wake up and have like night terrors and scream and kick and all that. And so when he would sleep, I like would tell him, you're not in that life anymore. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's okay. I swear the night terrors stopped. It was the weirdest thing. But I forgot where I heard that from. But if, your kid is struggling with being kind of, stuck on that past life or what happened back then, you can talk to them while they're sleeping and remind them that they're in this life and not there. See if it works. It might work.
Yeah, she's highly sensitive, so I think that's
she's pretty sensitive. And so it's almost like they show me two paths. Okay, so it's going to depend on her choices and decisions what path she takes. One path I feel is going to be a little more wild and have a little more curves and bumpy rides. Well, the other path, she does well and she gets out of school and she graduates and she goes on to her life. You know what I mean? I feel like there's two paths and it's going to be just dependent on what she does.
Okay.
Like her free will. So it's not as clear as your son's was. Like, I feel like he's going to be okay. She's more of a bumpy ride for you, unfortunately.
Okay. That's what I thought. My God, too. Anyway, to be honest, I thought she might be a little bit more one to be.
Yeah, but I mean, she's like I said, she's a sweet, kind, like angelic little girl. But then she also has this other side to her. It's really weird. I've never had that before in a reading where it's kind of like they're giving me that two different sides. One's angel, one's devil. Not literal devil. It's symbolic.
Right.
But just to show me she's got a bad side as well as a good side.
Yeah, I don't. Jealousy is something I don't understand really, and I've never really. I see jealousy in her, but I've never really had a big jealous streak, and I don't think my son has that. But I see a jealousy streak in her and things, and then that worries me.
Yep, you have to. That's something you're really going to have to work with her on.
Okay. All right.
Because you don't want that to turn into like a, bitchy thing later where she's one of those mean girls in school. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that she's still at the age where you can kind of teach her, you have your time and you got to share me with your brother. And, you got to teach her that she can't be jealous like that. It's okay to share time. Maybe she can go hang out with dad or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, if you see like with things going well with her, is there any certain career fields that you kind of see her doing well in? If you see her choosing, or do you see her being more of a mother type role?
There's a possibility of a nurse, or some kind of medical field, because I get my symbolism for nurse. I always get the old school nurse outfits with nursing. So and sometimes that could just be anywhere in the medical field.
You see her with children? She told me she
I
had
do.
8 of them once.
I do. And actually I would be worried if she didn't, like, I don't know. I think it's possible if you're not careful with the wild part of her, she might have one sooner than you would like her to. If she takes that road, you know what I mean? So it's just going to depend. I think she will have children, but it's just going to depend on what road she takes as to how early she's going to have them.
Okay.
It's hard because with her, it's like I keep getting two different, and I've never gotten that before. So it's just going to be like with our blueprints, we have one main path and we have many different highways we can take. So we're basically on the same path, but we can take all these other different roads. And I feel like she could go either way at this point.
Okay.
So it's just going to be on her choices what happens. And she might go through the wild child stage and then straighten out,
Right.
So she might, I think we've all been through that where we kind of need to get it out of our system, and she might just get it out of her system and go straight, or she might not. It just depends on really her and how strong her her constitution is to get right or, do better.
Okay.
So, and that might be part of her lessons, part of her, because we all come with like, hardships that we choose, and that might be something that she chooses to have to overcome, or, so yeah, I think she's going to be a little bit harder on you, but.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to do our best now then. Try to keep her on the straight and narrow. But she definitely is my little bit more of a wild child. But I know that she is a very much people pleaser. So I just hopefully we can nip it in the butt. So
yeah.
I
mean, she's learning. She's at that age where she's learning, she's still developing her personality. She's still kind of learning and growing, and, so she might just, depending on how she comes out.
Yeah, but you don't see anything in particular that I can do differently. It's going to be mostly her choices.
Yeah, it's going to be her choices. I mean, you're just being a good mom and teaching her right, and if she needs counseling, taking her to counseling, listening to her when you need her to listen, and make sure that you follow through on her punishments. Do not give up on her because she's manipulating you and she knows you're going to do that. That's why she does what she does. So it's more sticking.
It was just so hard because Braden was so dang.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it was so easy. Like, it was like, okay, mom, whatever, I'll behave, and she was just like, wow. It was just so different, like, it was like, I'm like, what am I doing different? But I don't think
if
it
you
was
have
different.
To put her if you have to put her in her room and turn up the music to drown her out, I mean, you have to stick with it because she's just going to manipulate you, and that's what I feel like she's doing. She knows you're going to give in, and she knows dad's going to give in. So if I cry, they'll give in, and then that's it. Punishment is over. I just played them and I won.
Even Braden has said that too. Braden's been like, she's playing you guys. She says that happened and it didn't happen, and he gets a little frustrated. And I'm like, and I'll have to talk to him privately, and I say, Braden, I understand that you're telling the truth, and I do see what you're saying, but sometimes her screaming gets out of control, and we're not, mom and dad need to make better decisions and how we handle it, and I apologize. So I think that you're making a very valid point there. So well taken.
Not me, Spirit. That's all Spirit. I wouldn't. I don't like to give my own stuff. I just kind of tell you what they tell me, and I feel like a good thing to watch is maybe that my mom always watches that nanny show. It's the one where like she kind of teaches you what to do to your kids.
So good sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she can turn it on and off really easy. So that's the thing with her. But that is good to know. So I appreciate it, and I will let you get on to the next person.
Okay, thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Okay. That's something I don't do a lot of, but I do when people ask. So okay, now Dana. I think Dana figured it out. Did you figure it out, Dana? I'm pretty sure. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yes. My kids are still awake. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can do it here if you want, or we can do it all, through Messenger, whatever. Your reading, never expires, so it's up to you. However you want to, whatever works for you.
Well, I'm curious about career, immediate career, job, and long term.
Okay. So
Uh-oh.
no, it's okay. I'm just sometimes it's a little struggle to so I don't feel anything that's gonna be immediate. Like tomorrow, immediate. But it's one of those things where we end up where our energy fits. So it comes across as I see. Okay, let me try to understand what they're saying. So you know those, it's almost like I get something like a temp agency or some different jobs or side jobs or odd jobs or things like that. But at the same time, there's something coming in where it's like entrepreneurship, like sometimes people sell makeup and sometimes people do DoorDash, that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So it's like one of those two options are coming in, and I feel like maybe short term, because I don't really feel anything like long term until maybe next year, but it's possible that one of these two things might fit into might fall into something that's long term.
Okay.
But I don't know, you know what I mean when I say like the temp agencies?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my first choice, but
No. Job's a job.
right.
So it's either that or it's something like I said, like entrepreneurship, like depending on what you're good at, like the DoorDash or the selling the makeup, or you can maybe even do both. But I feel like one of those two things will lead into something long term. But
I've been thinking of something pretty it's regarding helping people and stuff, and I've been putting a lot of thought into it and was ready to kind of move forward with it, but
well, I mean, this is what I'm picking up, and what I'm trying to pick up is for money for you. So I feel like whatever I'm picking up now is just kind of for you to pay your bills, money, get by. It's not really a career thing. It could be possible one of these things could lead to more of a career, but you always have to follow your path. I always tell people follow your passion, follow what you really want to do. You might have to do that thing with helping people on the side for now, and
okay.
then later it might turn into more of a career or more something, that's better for you or lucrative for you. But right now I feel like it's more like paying the bills. Kind of have to get a little more creative with that right now, especially with
Okay.
the way that everything is going
So I'm still
in the
going to be
world.
struggling a while, huh?
Yeah. So it's almost like they're just trying to give me things to help you kind of get on your feet more. But I feel like you can still do this helping people thing on the side that you want to do.
Okay.
So I wouldn't scratch that because that's your passion. That's part of your sole purpose. But at the same time, we have to survive, right?
Right.
So it's almost like you can do something on the side, like I said, like DoorDash or makeup thing or whatever you're drawn to that you feel is going to help make money. Some people do really good with the whole makeup thing. I don't know why that's coming up. I did
I
it for a
don't either.
while. I'm not great at selling things, but I've known people that make really good money doing it. Just depends on what you're good at.
I mean, I do have some things that I've made that trying to, I'm hoping to sell and stuff, but
So that might be the entrepreneurship that's coming in, but also, like I said, there's like, different companies that people sell for that they make pretty good money. It just depends on if you're good at it or not. You kind of have to take what you're good at and like use that. You know what I mean? Like if you're good at talking to people, you're good at getting them to try things and all of that. Like it seems like one of those companies would be, good for you.
Okay.
If that's something that you're drawn to. But like if you need money right now, like something like DoorDash or Eat whatever those ones are. Like
Okay.
I know there's a bunch of them or a few of them. Something like that could get you quick money if it's something that you can do. But
Okay.
but still focusing on what your passion is and what you want to go for, because I think that's why I'm not getting like, an office job or anything like that. Because it feels like whatever this is just to make money right now and just to help
Right.
you survive and kind of get by while you focus on the other stuff, if I'm making sense.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay. I don't know. Do we just ask questions as they can? Okay. Grandkids. Am I going to have a grandkid anytime in the near future?
So I don't know about there's a reference to possibility of next year.
Really?
I mean, it can shift depending, like, upon their choices and decisions. But I do see a boy as
Okay.
a possibility. Now, they can change their sex between now and then, but I am shown a boy very clearly. I get the color blue, and there's a reference to, now that could be getting pregnant next year or having the baby next year, but there's a reference to a possibility of next year.
And it's a grandkid, right? I'm not having that.
Yeah, and it's a divine timing thing. Babies come kind of when they're ready, and depending on whatever they're choosing for their blueprint, they have to come at a certain time. So,
Okay.
because remember, our blueprints interconnect with our astrology chart, so they have to be born at a certain day and time, depending on what it is that they need to come in and do. But
Okay.
they do show me that, with, like I said, with a reference to next year. So either get pregnant next year or have the baby next year.
I can live with that.
Shift. Yeah, timelines can shift depending on their choices. Whoever your kids' involvement in that, and if
Okay.
things are a good timing and the relationship is good and all of that. So, but they do show me, next year. I hear the word August, so that could be pregnant in August or have the baby by August or before August. There's something with August.
August. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right.
And I'm like
And then,
drawing a little baby boy.
yay. Okay. And then, love life. Anything there? Dating. Anyone
Okay, so
of
when it
interest?
comes into, like I said, like love life is really hard because it depends on your free will and their free will and the divine timing of you guys meeting, if and when you're going to meet. And then sometimes people can come into your life and it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are going to make it work out. It's up to you guys to make it work out. So I do right now it feels though that this time is about you.
Okay.
It's about you getting on your feet. It's about you deciding where you kind of stand in this world, because I think right now it's all about finding life purpose. Okay.
Yep.
You're on that path of kind of figuring out who you are and what you can do to make the world a better place, is how it comes in. So I feel like there's a possibility you might meet somebody in these circles that you end up getting into,
Mhm.
in regarding the work that you're going to be doing. because I do feel that your dream will become a reality. It's just right now you have to survive while that dream is becoming a reality. Is the
Do
way it
you
comes in.
do you see a timeline? I mean, like, are we talking years?
So I get within now again, timelines can shift.
Right.
But I get within the next 2 years. Now that could be any time from now until 2 years from now. Anytime in between that time period. Or it
Okay.
can even go to a little after. But it feels like right now is about self-discovery. It's about your sole purpose, and that's what your focus is. When you're focusing on that, you can't really focus on a man and all of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
so it's not the right timing for that. I got chills with that. So that's truth for me. So it's not the right timing for that. But I feel like in those circles is where you could possibly meet someone. He feels like a bigger guy though. Like I want to say husky, but he's got a really good heart. And but I feel like it comes in the right timing once you get everything figured out and all that. I feel like you're going to meet him in this circle that you're going to, circle of people that you're going to end up getting into to do this work that you want to do.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, so he'll be into the same kind of stuff that you are, basically.
Great.
Or on the same kind of path or sole purpose that you are, is the way that it comes in.
Okay.
But he feels like a bigger guy. But I feel like he's like a big old teddy bear is what he reminds me of. And he's got a good heart. And I feel like he's like with you, like he wants to help people. Like that's where so you guys are definitely vibing on the same level with all of that.
Okay. So any safety concerns with me or my kids, family, anything? Or even like regarding a certain case that I've been working
Yeah,
on?
I know what you were getting at. I hear the word be vigilant. Whenever that means like watch your back and don't get too deep. Like I feel like we talked about this before. It's gonna get solved. She'll be found if that's what's meant to happen, but you can't put your life on the line and all of that and turn your life upside down to continue on something that it might not be the time for. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because people
Yeah.
I know it's hard when we really care about someone and it's hard to think about them out there, but there's a timing to everything. And sometimes people get found and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're found in the timing they're meant to, sometimes they don't. And there's lots of examples I could give you of that, but it's one of those things where she would want you to take care of yourself first. And because you also have your children to think about, you have to become she would want you to you know what I mean? She would want you to take care of you and your kids first and
Right.
make sure that you guys are safe. And as we both know, the people that are involved in this situation are not good people. And if you
Right.
get too close, it might be a bad thing. So, it's one of those things where yes, that's up to you and it's your choice and your decision, but I feel like you kind of have basically done the most that you can do and more than anybody else has done, but you can't like lose yourself. You know what I mean? You can't lose
Too late.
yourself and you can't because I feel that's kind of what you've done and you've kind of turned your whole life upside down, looking for this person. And it's one of those things where if she's not meant to be found, she's not meant to be found by you. It just unfortunately won't happen that way. And I have to remind myself of that all the time too, because, the work that I do is looking for missing people. And I get very frustrated that I don't get enough information to find those people. I don't get enough, information. I get very, very, very frustrated. And it's sometimes if I don't pull myself back, I will reel out of control. So I have to constantly remind myself that, you know what? I'm giving everything that I've got, and that's all I can give at this point. And if it leads them to them, great. If it doesn't, well, there's nothing else I can do because I'm not some, the mystical being.
Right.
So it's kind of like the same thing. Like you have to kind of reel yourself back in and not spin out, because she wouldn't want you to do that either. She wouldn't want you to lose everything. She wouldn't want you to put yourself in danger and all of that.
Okay.
I feel like it's okay to do your, research when you can and look things up when you can, but just don't get in too deep. And just kind of, just let it kind of flow. Like, you know what I mean? Like do
Yeah.
things here and there, and kind of, you can look for like as you need to, but just don't let it get out of control, and don't put yourself in danger, because she wouldn't want you to put yourself in danger.
Okay.
Because as we know, these people are capable of, right?
Right. Okay. So, do you see or feel, I've been having some strong gut feelings. I'm trying to ground myself. I'm trying to get grounded to see what comes of that. And it's kind of still on the path of helping people. Do you see that I have any type of gifts or anything?
Well, we all kind of possess that ability to connect to the other side. Some possess it more than others. Some are intuitive, some can connect to spirit. You have to start kind of at the basics, which is meditation. Okay, meditation's a big thing. A lot of people struggle with it, but you just kind of keep doing the meditation until, whether it's guided meditation, whether it's meditating while you're walking, whether it's looking at a flame, have to figure out what works for yourself.
Okay.
Because that is the way that you learn to quiet your mind to understand what spirit is trying to tell you. Also, listening to those little nudges that you get sometimes.
Right.
And kind of learning how this works, learning about the different clairs, learning about the other side, learn all that you can. Because once you start learning that tells spirit, okay, she's ready.
Okay.
Because sometimes people have had the gifts and then they kind of block it off. Because it scared them or whatever that may be. But once they start doing this again, it starts, opening them back up. So you do have some gifts. I feel like you got clairsentience, which is you feel things and you feel with your body. So you kind of intuitive feelings with your body, intuitive nudges to go one way or go another way. You can look up clairsentience. There's more to it, but you can feel kind of energy in a room or when things kind of shift sometimes. But sometimes we have a little bit of a gift and not the whole thing. So like,
Right.
you might not you might have a lot of the clairsentience, but some of the stuff might not make sense to you, if that makes sense. Like it might not fit you, but it doesn't mean you're not clairsentient. So I get that with you strongly. And then I get that you do have a gift that if you wanted to communicate with spirit more, you could do that in time. That's something that, you're going to have to learn how you connect and learn how to do. So yeah, you have gifts. You just kind of have to, they kind of come in staggered. So once you kind of learn one, or you get the idea of how one is working for you, then another one might open up. And we all connect differently. So you have to learn on your own how you work, like how you
Right.
connect to spirit, how you get information.
Okay.
So that's one thing, it starts, like I did a lot of meditation in the very beginning, like all the time, constantly, every day. Because it helps you learn how to connect to spirit. Like that's the first step anytime you want to try to open your gifts.
Okay.
So anybody can learn and anybody can connect as long as they're open-minded. But again, like we all are gifted kind of differently. So you just have to kind of learn what those gifts are. That makes sense.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know. Am I blabbering too much? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Is it to where you can understand it?
I know. Well, and I just have so many questions. It's like, I guess everything's just a big question mark these days.
Yeah. That's such as life. Life is one big question, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I guess do you see or feel anything else, or anybody that's watching me, like keeping an eye on me, keeping me safe? Any messages from?
I mean, I hear the word thank you, and we know who that's from. And she's very much around you all the time. But it's more of a standpoint of a protective, but she's not like pushing you. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you feel like she is, but they don't cross the boundaries to push us what's beyond our limitations. But she wants to thank you for everything you have done for her.
Okay. Anyone else that you feel, or?
Well, to get into a big mediumship reading and validate all this would take a long time.
Okay.
But do you have a I feel like there's a grandfather figure. I don't know if you have a grandfather on the other side. He feels very fatherly, but more grandfatherly.
Right.
And
Yep.
he's very much around you.
Okay.
As a I think he has a lot of love that he puts towards you.
Okay.
And basically, I just see him, hanging out around you, just being present, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Him and her, they feel like they're around you the most. I mean, obviously we have spirit around us all the time.
Right. Okay. Well, we covered the career, the family. I don't know. I think that's, I have questions, but I just can't think of, I mean, I guess I'm kind of bummed about the the struggling career, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, we all go through it, right? Nothing is really life is kind of like a roller coaster. It's up and down for a lot of us. And it's just one of those things where sometimes we have to struggle to get to where we fit.
Anything with my kids that you see that I need to, any struggles with them where I need to step it up or do anything to help them?
Well, like I was saying, like they have their own blueprints as well, and their own paths and their own lessons that they have to learn. So by being present and being the best mom that you can be and trying to mold them into good people, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with them.
Okay. Well, I guess if you don't see or feel anything else, I think we pretty much covered.
I think that I'm getting that you're too hard on yourself sometimes. You need to not be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I know. Trust me, I know. But they're saying you need to be more gentle with yourself. Not be so hard on yourself.
Okay. And health is good.
Yeah, from what I can see, it's hard to jump from thing to thing to thing.
I know. So I'm sorry. I'm not.
That's
very
okay.
good at this.
From what I can tell, you're okay.
I need my spirit guides to just come talk to you. Okay, well, if you have somebody else, I can jump off
Yeah,
here.
I think I do have another person. But as long as that was helpful for you and you got some answers that you needed, that's what's important.
Okay, yeah. Something to think about for sure.
Yeah, because I think, like I said, we've talked about it before. Like, you've put everything into this to this person. While she appreciates it, she wants you to take care of yourself first.
The main person, there's a person in that situation that I question a lot, real or, you know, if I was played, if she was really a good person trying to help. I have a big question mark with that one.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where I wish a lot was more clear.
I know.
It's not like that. Like I always tell people, it's not direct, it's not specific. It's bits and pieces that have to be put together, and you know,
Well, I felt like a bond with this person, but then there's just a lot of hot and cold and unknown and starting to question everything.
yeah. I know how that is. And I
And
know
I
how
don't
it is with
know.
cases as well, you know. I mean, I do what you've done, what you do with this case, I do with all the cases.
Oh
And
gosh.
it's a constant thing, and it's never enough information. Because whatever, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
So
Okay.
I don't know. When it comes to that situation, I gave as much as she did, and there might be reasons why they hold things back. But yeah, the pieces have to kind of be put together.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Dana. If
Appreciate
you
it.
need
Have a good
anything, you
night.
know where to find me.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. So I'm getting drained here. And that's still roots. Still roots. I'm looking for that to make sure I got it first. Okay. So got your donation, still roots. Click the link at the top. It's pinned to the top. You don't have to show yourself, or you can show yourself. Well, I kind of have to. Okay. So the reason why I like to bring people on is because when people rewatch this, they usually don't read the chat. But so general love in the next 2 months. Are you currently single? Okay. That's what I was thinking. All right. So next 2 months, I see some chatting. I don't know if you currently are chatting with different people or you're doing like an online chatting thing, but there's a little bit of chatting going on. I see messages back and forth, but honestly, I don't see like any like serious relationships. There might be flings or whatnot, but I don't see anything serious possibly coming up until next year. And it's one of those things where I feel like your life right now and your time about your life is to work on yourself, and kind of just quit looking. It's one of those things like when we quit looking, it finds us kind of thing. Because I don't know why next year I get sometimes towards the end of the year, they always take me into next year. So it can be any time from now until next year. But I don't see anything serious. Like I said, you might have flings or you might be chit-chatting. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So, I mean, you might have I feel like there's going to be conversations, and I keep getting flings, like there might be possible fling or flings. But it doesn't feel like, it feels like if you kind of just let it go and kind of quit looking. I mean, you can still chat, obviously. So chatting with one person, okay. Now, I don't know if that's the fling I'm talking about or if that could turn into something more serious later on. But they keep taking me to next year that there's going to be someone that you meet that'll be more of a serious thing. But every relationship, everybody we meet is for a reason. Sometimes it's stepping stones. So, as far as, I mean, and again, when it comes to love life, it's all about free will. So you guys are chatting and you could decide to make something out of it. That's your guys' free will. That's your decision. And it might work, it might not. Like I said, they keep bringing me to next year. So, like I said, you might have a fling with this person and then someone more serious comes along next year, because next year seems to be like I get like, I want to go middle next year, but for some reason I'm getting April. But again, time frames can shift depending on, what people are doing in their lives and if they're ready or not. So it's almost like chatting with this person. I mean, I feel like you're getting what you need out of it right now. It could turn into something serious. It just doesn't feel that way to me right at this point. I feel like there's someone better suited for you, basically, that might come along. But, I mean, by all means, continue chatting if you want to. But there's something about next year. Like, I seriously feel like there's going to be either it's this person and it gets more serious next year, but for some reason, the energy doesn't feel the same. It feels like someone else is going to pop in. And I feel they're more of a sturdy person, like more of a wanting a relationship instead of the one that you're talking to right now. I don't know. He just kind of, I don't know if I'm making sense. That's kind of mostly what they're giving me on that. It seems like that the rest of the year, I don't know, I feel like self-focus, self-growth. Like sometimes we need to focus on ourselves more, and then we can get our energy to where we attract the correct person. And this is why I like to have you on here, because it's easier to know if I'm on something. But sometimes it when we work on ourselves, we fix our energy to where we attract the right person. We attract the same vibration. You know what I mean? So if someone isn't vibrating with us, it won't work out with them. But sometimes we raise our vibration and therefore we attract a higher vibration person. That makes sense. So it feels like this is like about self-growth, self-discovery. But yeah, next year, I don't know. They keep taking me to next year. Yep. I mean, you can still, like I said, you can still chat with the person and just see where it goes, but it's one of those things where it's like not push, like don't push, like just kind of let things go, let things happen. Like that's how it comes in. Don't push, don't look, just kind of live your life, go with the flow and see where things go and see how things happen. That's kind of the energy that comes in, just like let things happen as they're going to, kind of stuff. Is how they bring it across to me. Does that make sense? Okay. Sounds good to me too. You'll have to let me know what's up with next year. Something's up with next year. Around April time, but again, things shift, but April comes in pretty clear. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I saw someone else sent a donation, so that'll probably be my last one if I can figure out who they are. Yeah, mine's been non-existent for 10 years, so I'm trying to see. Did anybody else send me one? I want to make sure I got, if someone else sent it and I don't get off if I have one coming up. Unless I just got a late notification on my computer, which happens. Okay, stars. Yeah, I've been letting it go. I just decided, you know what? I can't handle the man drama. I'm gonna focus on missing people in my career, and just that's what I feel like I'm meant to do. I feel like I had my great love and that was enough for me because it was a lot of drama. But it brought me to where I am now. And so I'm one of those people, like if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And if it's not, then it won't. I'm sick of guys, just being flakes most of the time. So I'm cool with whatever. And that's how I look at it. If I'm meant to meet somebody, I'll meet somebody. If not, I won't. I hear the coyotes outside, so sorry that they are barking right now, but there's coyotes. I can hear them. Can you guys hear them? They're going nuts. There's lots of coyotes out there right now. Holy crap. That's why my dogs are freaking out. Can you guys... you could probably only hear my dogs, not the coyotes, huh? I can hear the coyotes. They were loud the other night. Like yesterday, I was like, what the heck? I can hear them from in here. You guys hear them? I can hear them in between when my dogs stop. Damn, they're going nuts. They better just stay off my property. That's all I gotta say. Can you guys hear him? Oh my gosh. All right, maybe I didn't miss maybe I just got a late. You can't hear, okay, you can hear the dogs barking, but you can't hear the coyotes. I thought if I could hear them, you guys would be able to hear them. It's between the dog bark, you can hear the howling of the coyotes. But that's what they're barking at. They're telling the coyotes to stay away. Do you hear them, Angela? Yeah. Dude, they're nuts. No, I did that yesterday. I went outside and I couldn't see nothing. They're still going. My dog, there's no way. My dog would let me know if there's a coyote in this yard. They're kind of far. They're further tonight than they were the other night. I think all the dogs are going crazy everywhere now. But I think that's good. I think everybody got the reading that donated. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anybody's reading. Yeah, you can hear them. That's kind of like why they're, at least they're not back here, because I worry more about being in the back than in the front. But actually, I'm kind of surrounded by people's yards, so I think if they were going to come in, they'd come in over here. And I'm surprised I don't hear the donkey, because sometimes the donkey will let everybody know. But they're not going anymore, so they stopped. So, but I think I got everybody right. I got everybody's question done. That's what I was looking at. Sorry about the dogs barking, but that's what they're doing their job. They were really loud the other night, Angela. Like, I did step outside the other night because they sounded like they were right here, but I think I got everybody. So thank you guys very much for tonight. I think I'm gonna jump off and hang out with my dogs for a little bit. I'm going to my mom's tomorrow, taking the day off. I'm tired. If anybody wants a private reading, you guys know how to reach me, and I'll see you guys next week. We're gonna get we'll do some more lives and stuff, and I should have some videos coming out. And I think I'm gonna work on the Collier case. I think it's Debbie Collier, is that her name? And I might do some more on Jalissa. That I'm kind of wondering about. I think what I was getting was right on her, but it's been bugging me. I keep getting pulled back, even though I know the family doesn't want to listen. So those are two I think I'm wanting to cover. There's also another one that doesn't have a lot of coverage. And then I have those two that I need to type up and get out. And Dylan's I'm going to get out. I don't think it's very helpful, though, honestly. I went back and read it too. I was like, those are crappy reading for whatever reason. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for the love and support. And I will see you guys next time.